a few requests to do more stuff related to hair and more hair tutorials, and actually one of my followers asked me to do a tutorial on how I get my straight hair, so how I straighten my hair. Actually, I thought that was fairly kind of obvious and simple and everyone would know how to do it, but I thought I would do a tutorial just to show you how I do it and how I get so much volume and so much lift on my hair, because it almost looks like it has been blow dried as opposed to straightened with a straightener. And the thing is, I do blow dry it first and then straighten it with a straightener. But so today in the video I want to go through the whole process, so from wet to completely dry hair, how I blow dry my hair first using a BABYLISS hairdryer and a round brush. And that takes about, I'd say, 15 minutes, and then it only takes me about 10 minutes. Now that my hair is shorter. When it was long, it would take an absolute century, but it only takes me about 10 minutes to straighten it with a straightener. I don't have a pair of GHDs. I actually use a BABYLISS straightener. I will try to find it. It's really old. I think it's about 7 years old, but if I can find it, I will link it below. But obviously, if you have GHDs, they would work completely the same. But all I wanted to say is that you don't really need GHDs to do this. If you have a good set of straighteners that is similar to GHDs but it's not GHDs, it can work perfectly as well. And basically what I do is I try to kind of tuck in the ends and make it look like it has been blow dried with a hairdryer and get a lot of lift on the root as opposed to straightened with a straightener. So if you want to know how I do it, then please keep watching, but before that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. I upload twice a week, so I would love to see you again on my channel. Don't forget to hit that button and also the little bell right next to it so that you get a notification every time I upload. Okay guys, excuse this horrible face with no makeup, but I've just come out of the shower and I've washed my hair and I've used the NIZORAL Anti-Dandruff shampoo, and this is actually because the dermatologist recommended this because I have a problem on my scalp. It sort of gets really flaky. It's actually a dermatitis, it's not only dandruff, and this shampoo really helps. But if not, I would recommend using a clarifying shampoo at least once a week to kind of remove all the buildup from your hair. So this has left my hair looking really, really clean. And then I used this Living Proof Restore Mask Treatment, which is really good, and I've used this sort of mid-lengths and ends and a little bit around sort of any areas where I've got colour in my hair, just because it does get quite dry, and this mask is really, really good at moisturising my hair and kind of bringing all the nourishment back. I'm now going to go in with this KERASTASSE Keratine Thermique, which I've spoken about before. It's a heat protectant, and it also kind of helps to smoothen your hair and kind of bring it back to life and just kind of keep it straight and de-frizzy. So it's really good. You just need a sort of pea-size amount, a little bit bigger than a pea-size amount, I'd say. But that's because I've got quite a bit of hair. And I'm just going to kind of take this in my hair and apply this sort of mid-lengths and ends. And finally, I'm going to go in with this Repair Rescue, which is a leave-in conditioner. And I'm just going to apply this on the sort of ends of my hair, which are quite dry. And again, you just want sort of a pea-sized amount. And JASMINA, actually, who colours my hair, recommended this, and it's really, really good. So I'm going to apply this mostly on my ends. And it's a leave-in conditioner, so it's going to leave... But it doesn't weigh your hair down too much. It's quite light, so it's good to keep your hair sort of moisturised but not kind of weighed down at the same time. And already it feels so much softer after applying this. Okay, so now I'm going to blow dry my hair, and I'm going to be using this BABYLISS hairdryer. This one's really good. It's quite affordable. I got it from Boots, and it's pretty good. It's got pretty good power, so it dries your hair pretty well. I'm first going to rough dry it, and I'm going to do this by brushing it down with this brush. This one's also from BABYLISS. BABYLISS, I don't know how you say that, but anyway, I'm going to use this brush. I'm just going to kind of brush all my hair down to give it a lot of volume and a lot of kind of lift at the top, and I'm just going to rough dry it a little bit like that. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep the nozzle of the hairdryer pointing downwards. I obviously couldn't see, so I wasn't doing a very good job of this, but I'm trying my best. And what I'm doing is I'm brushing my hair down to just try and defrizz it and straighten it as I go along, as I rough dry it. And obviously this is going to give the hair a lot of shine. And by having my hair downwards, I'm just giving it a lot of lift, especially at the root, because the hair is kind of blow drying in the opposite direction. Okay, and when it's sort of 40% dry, we're going to start sectioning it. So I like to part it into about 3 sections. So I'm going to take the bottom section and I'm going to pin up the rest. And I'm going to split this into two. And then taking a round brush, this one is one that has like a metallic back so it heats up. But you can use one with a ceramic one and it's even better. And then I'm going to take my hairdryer and start drying. Okay, so now because the hair is kind of dry almost, it's very easy to do this and it's going to take less time than if the hair was completely wet. And what I'm going to do is take this round brush and I'm going to try and roll it at the root and always dry away from my head. So with the roots pointing outwards, because that's what's going to kind of give it the lift. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of trying to keep the nozzle of the hairdryer pointing downwards, because this is what's going to help stop the hair from frizzing up. And as you can see, I'm working firstly on the roots and then just kind of taking the hair downwards, but then I'm taking it again with the brush and just working on the ends, because that's the area that usually frizzes up the most. Now I'm going to work on the other section and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And what you can do to make this process easier is to start off, just do it like I'm doing here and kind of roll the hair on your brush and just kind of pull away from your head with the brush while you're drying, and then just work on the ends separately. Now that I'm done with the first section of my hair, I'm going to take the second section and I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did before. Just pin up the top section, which will be just my crown section, and then the other section just split it into two bits so that I can do one side of my head and then the other side. And I'm going to use exactly the same technique that I was using earlier, which is just using the round brush to pull the hair away from my face and then blow dry it as I go along. This takes a little bit of skill, I must say, holding the brush and the hairdryer at the same time, but once you've done it a few times, you will be a pro. It's important that you take all the hair all the way around to the back. So what I try to do is, because my hair is long enough, I try to take the back section of my hair and pull it towards the front. But if your hair is shorter, you can just try and kind of pull it away from your head towards the back. This is obviously easier because then you can actually see your hair. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with the final section of my hair, my crown, and this is sort of the hardest bit because this is where you really want to shape your hair, because what I'm doing with the hairdryer is actually shaping my hair so that then with the straightener I'm just sort of defrizzing. So I'm going to take this front section of my hair, which is actually a bit shorter because I've got a bit of a fringe, and I'm going to roll it on the brush and I'm going to blow dry this forward. And this is going to help it give it a lot of lift at the root, because whenever you blow dry in the opposite direction, this is what gives the hair lift. And as you can see, I'm always pointing the nozzle downwards and keeping it very close to my hair. And so that it doesn't burn my hair, what I do is I keep the hairdryer with the maximum setting on the kind of wind, but I don't put it on the maximum setting of the heat. I keep it on the medium setting for heat. Okay, now I'm going to take the next section on my crown and I'm just going to take this and roll it into the brush, and I'm going to blow dry this sort of a little bit to the front but mostly upwards, because again that's when it's going to give it the lift. So I'm first going to roll my brush and just point the nozzle at it so that the hair dries, and I'm going to keep it like this, lifting the hair upwards and then rolling back on itself so that this really gets a lot of lift, because that heat on the comb as it gets hot will really help to shape that section. So I'll keep doing this, rolling it, keeping it, just pointing the hairdryer at it, and this is what's going to give it loads of lift. Okay, now that I'm done with the whole of the top section, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the brush and I'm just going to smoothen out the hair that I blow dried earlier, but because I was focusing on the root mostly, I'm going to blow dry the ends to just kind of smoothen these out. And as you can see, I'm using the brush to sort of shape the hair. I have a side part, so I'm sort of shaping the hair so that it has a nice kind of shape framing my face. Now I'm going to go in with rollers because I've finished blow drying all my hair, and these are going to help me give a lot of lift. So I'm going to use these really big ones from Boots. They're amazing because they have a metal back, which means they sort of heat up and really kind of shape your hair. And I'm just going to take the front section of my hair and just roll it on itself and use a small bobby pin to just keep this in place. And what I usually do is I keep these rollers while I'm doing my makeup or whatever and just let the hair set. and then I straighten it. I'm going to take another roller and just do the back section of my crown. So basically the same sections I was using with the round brush. And I'm going to pin these side sections away from my face and upwards so that they have a lot of lift. I like my hair to be quite separated from my face, but if you don't like that, then you can miss these out. And I'm going to do this on both sides. After I've finished pinning up my rollers, I'm just going to take my hairdryer and just blow dry a little bit of hot air onto them so that they get really hot and set with the right shape. Okay, so I've taken my rollers off and I look a little more human now that I've put some makeup on. And I'm going to go straight ahead and straighten my hair now. Okay, now for straightening, I'm going to use the same technique I did for blow drying. So I'm going to split my hair into the same 3 sections. And here I'm taking the bottom section, and I'm also going to split this bottom section into 2 bits so that I can straighten one side and then the other side. And I'm just taking a comb and using the straightener, I'm just passing this a few times, again, really making sure I get into the root and take it away from my head so that the volume stays. And first I'm going to work on the root, and then as you can see, I'm just working on the ends because this is the area that frizzes up the most. And I'm just taking the straightener, and with my wrist I'm just turning a little bit on the end so that the ends are a little tucked in. But if you prefer them straight, then just keep your wrist straight and don't give it that bend at the end. Also make sure that you are straightening the back, and what I do is just take my straightener on the roots and just pull it away from my head, and this will straighten the back, making sure there's no kind of weird kinks at the back. I'm now taking the second section of hair like we did when we were blow drying, and I'm going to use exactly the same technique, pulling away from my head and also making sure that I bend my wrist at the end so that I get that little tucked in end. And finally, for the top section of my head, we're going to work exactly the same as with the blow dryer. I'm going to take the front section, so my fringe section, and I'm going to straighten this towards the front because again, that's what's going to give it the lift. I'm going to take the whole of the crown section and straighten it to the front, and as you can see, I'm also trying to tuck the ends in just to make sure it's all nice and even. And now you can see how much lift my hair has. What I'm going to do now is just again shape it around my face because those ends seem a bit funny, they seem a bit kind of frizzy. So I'm just going to take the straighteners and work on the ends just to shape the hair around my face. I'm going to do the same on the other side, and obviously with the ends what I'm doing is on the left side I'm folding them towards my face, and the same thing on the right side. So I'm just helping myself with a brush, as you can see, the whole way, just because otherwise I burn my hands basically. Okay, and to finish everything off, so I'm going to take a little bit of this Frizz Ease serum, and this is just to kind of hydrate the ends and make them look a little more shiny. And I'm just going to take a small pea-sized amount, rub it in between my hands, and then I'm just going to take this over the ends of the hair because they're a little bit dry, and this is just going to make them look a little more hydrated. Everything from me, guys. I have linked below all the products that I've used in this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you like the final look, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!